I just wasn't feeling the calamari when I came out, so I asked if he'd switch with me. He said no. I asked him why not, and he said I didn't want it to go to waste. He then said you shouldn't have effing ordered it. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, gonna go over a story titled, Am I the A-hole for asking, not insisting, that my boyfriend switch meals with me when I don't like what I've ordered at a restaurant? And big shout out to Ronick for sending me this story. And guys, this story, this very, very entertaining story, is something I think many of you guys can identify with. You can relate to. This story is about a girl. She's 25, and she's posting online after she and her boyfriend have had some difficulties in their relationship. Why, you may ask? Because it turns out she's the type of gal that many of you guys, including me, have been on dates with, who can never make up her damn mind when she orders at the restaurant. And often when she eventually does make up her mind, she doesn't like the food she gets. And she has a habit all the time of getting her guy to switch food with her. And it's driving him crazy. And eventually, he loses it. And eventually, kicks her to the curb. And she just doesn't know what happened, what's going on, all that. And let me tell you guys, how many of you guys been on dates? Right? How many have been on dates when you get there and you know what you want? Guys are easy. A burger, a steak, hopefully a medium rare steak. If you guys order well done steaks, I'll smack the shit out of you. We're easy. But women, not all, but a lot, think they're foodies. And they look at the menu, and they study that thing forever. And they can't make up their minds. It's happened to me more times than I want to admit. I'm sure it's happened to a lot of you guys. Some spend more time studying that menu, trying to figure out what they're going to get, like it's their last meal. Literally, less time is spent on going over the paperwork, closing on a house, than there is for your average gal trying to determine what they're going to eat at a restaurant. It's crazy. And this is a situation where a guy finally freaking loses it. What you're going to see in the story, guys, this guy, as she describes, is a typical nice guy. He's obviously a pushover and gives her what she wants. And you're going to see it's like something snaps. Like he almost found content like what I do. And complete 180, and she's baffled by this whole thing. But anyhow, don't want to get too much into this and reveal too much, and I'll let you guys see in real time as I go through this story. Very entertaining. So it starts off, she says, I've been friends with my boyfriend for years. Actually, together for about 3 months now. He's the sweetest guy that I know, and he's been seriously hurt in the past. And I'm so happy we are finally clicking after being flirt buddies since MS. We're now 25 years old. I don't know what the hell MS means. Maybe it's medical school. I don't know. So what do we have already? The sweetest guy she's ever known. Or sweetest guy. What happens when women think of guys as the sweetest guy? Nice guy alert. That's what it is. And notice they were friends for years first. But now she's 25 and they're together. Why weren't they dating back in the day if he was so awesome? Probably because she's 25 now. And now thinking wedding bells. Time to settle, find my nice guy. I could be wrong, but that's usually what happens. Whenever we go out to eat, he always orders the most basic thing. 99% of the time, it's cheeseburger plain, ketchup on the side, with honey mustard to dip his fries. Sounds good to me. He actually loves exotic food, but he says that menus and making choices stresses him out, so he doesn't want to put much thought into it. I love trying exotic things, and to me, that's the reason to go out to eat. To me, it's so exciting. It's food, lady. I never get foodies, guys. Never have, never will. To me, food is fuel. To give me energy to get from point A to point B, do my workouts to exist. Sure, I want something that tastes good, but I'm not going to get excited to go try something or travel for the goddamn food. But what's that, what they call it? First world problems or first world issues or whatever the hell you want to call it. To me, it's fuel. My issue is things always look and sound better than they turn out, and I decide that I actually just want a burger. So usually I ask him if he'll switch with me, and he always does, and he never complains. Smack. No, he should not be switching. He wanted that goddamn burger. And if she is questioning what something's going to be good, she should get a burger too or order something else. See this nice guy stuff coming out? Most of the time, he even says how good his food was. To me, it's a win for both of us. It gets him out of his comfort zone, and we don't waste food. No, this just makes it easy for her. She's just a pain in the ass. Well, let's be honest here. It's food. Just sit down and freaking eat it. Last night, we both had to work really late, so we met up at a sports bar. They were having calamari special, which sounded really good. He ordered a cheeseburger as usual. You're at a sports bar. Get a freaking beer and a burger. I mean, I don't eat junk food very often, but if I'm going to go to a sports bar, I'm not going to get seafood. Calamari's cool on occasion, but I'm getting a freaking burger. Preferably with a big giant runny egg on it or something. Life is short. Have a little fun every once in a while. I just wasn't feeling I just wasn't feeling the calamari when it came out, so I asked if he'd switch with me. Eat your own food, lady. See how well trained she has this guy, at least how she thinks she has him? He said no. I asked him why not, and he said I didn't want it to go to waste. He said you shouldn't have effing ordered it. I was like, excuse me? He then went into a tirade and said I treat him like a garbage disposal. He's a grown man. I'm being immature. Don't pin my crap on him, etc. Well, she clearly has pushed him too far. Or maybe he found content like mine. I said it sounded like this was a rehearsed speech. He said maybe it was, since I insist on stealing his food every time we go out somewhere. I started crying. Shocker. And he said, and this is edited, don't start that BS with me. Here, have both meals. He got up and walked out. Damn, I think this guy found some RP content. Girl pisses him off, turns into a drama fest. He walks. I think I've mentioned that a few times on the other channel. Look at this. Her pushover guy all of a sudden is standing up to her. He has not called or texted me, and it's 6 o'clock in the morning, and I honestly thought he would call to apologize by now. That's what girls expect nice guys to do. I called my sister, and your quote, you're an a-hole for waking me up at 5:30 in the morning, and he's going to see you as asking as insisting. That's really crappy of you to put that pressure on him, and she basically hung up. So even her sister's tearing her new one for waking her up at 5:30 in the morning for some bullshit problem with her guy, and for how she acts. She says, since she said it, am I the a-hole? Yes, lady, you are the a-hole. You're a pain in the ass when it comes to, your choices and all that. You obviously found a guy that you know darn well, at least you thought, was always going to let you have your way. And you were taking advantage of his kindness because he obviously sounds like nice guy behavior. Nice guys will always put everybody else's wants and needs ahead of their own. Hence, he would always switch food to make her happy. And she got into a habit of doing this. She got used to it, and he just snapped. Either it had been building up, or he found content like mine. I don't know. He has every right to be pissed and say, not happening. And notice when he said no, she freaking lost it, and he then gave her shit. It's food. Fuel. It shouldn't be that big a deal. So next time, either think twice about what you order, or just order something else, or just, I have an idea, freaking eat it. Okay? Don't be such a freaking pain in the ass about it. Shit drives guys crazy. Now, a little update. She says, as an update, well, he called and didn't even let me get a word in and said he needs a break and that he hasn't been happy in the first 3 months. And the relationship isn't for him. I guess you all proved correct and I'm the a-hole and now I'm a single a-hole. There you go. She pushed him too far. This is what happens when guys are pushed too far. And this sounds like a nice guy who found the RP content. And he's like, that's it. Not happening again. I got no problem if this was one time, and he equally liked what she got. I don't know. And I got no problem if a girl, wants to try a piece of your food, a French fry, a bite of this. Okay, fine. But nobody's touching my freaking food beyond that point. I sure as hell am not switching things. Unless, like somebody, years ago had a girlfriend, her mom got some spicy food, and her mom got dinner, and it was spicier than she thought. She couldn't really handle spices. So instead of waiting, I said, hey, you want mine? honestly, because I didn't care. Her food looked really good anyway, and I was like, no problem, because, you know, she had sensitivity to spices. But this girl does this shit all the time. You can't blame this guy for being pissed. It's ridiculous. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have been in this situation. So she got what she deserved, and hopefully he has learned his lesson by being so accommodating and nice. Now, real quick, a few comments here, because they're always fun. One guy says, you are the a-hole. Why is he the one that has to deal with your experimenting? If you don't like it, order something else, but make sure you pay for both. Common sense. Another guy says, absolutely, you're the a-hole. Like, take the L. You ordered a dish you didn't like. Why is it your boyfriend's problem? He didn't want your calamari. He wanted his burger like he ordered. It's not his fault you're indecisive and have buyer's remorse every single time you go out. She is a pain in the ass. It sounds to me like he's at wit's end with your flip-flopping and demanding his dinner every time, and he's 100% justified in that feeling. I'd be pissed if someone just expected me to hand them my meal every time. Poor guy, he snapped because who wouldn't? You need to order 2 dishes if you have issues with deciding. It's not your boyfriend's problem. Let him enjoy his burger. Why would you even ask this? He also says, OP, what did you expect? He isn't happy in the relationship. This was probably his tipping point, and it wasn't just about the dinner. If you're this demanding and controlling and entitled about going out to eat, I can imagine how you are around the bigger issues. Things like this should be a cause for self-reflection. Correct. If she's smart, she will think about that. But the odds are, like a lot of gals, she'll just pissed off and say, oh, it's his problem. He's the jerk. He's the a-hole. Because a lot of gals will surround themselves with a bunch of yes girls to tell them what they want to hear. Meanwhile, the girls are secretly saying, man, what a bitch. Another comment, this is from a woman, I might add, says this, OP, I was shocked that anyone put up with this as long as he did. I think everyone on this sub picked up on the fact that you were putting him in a crappy position. So you might want to look outside of yourself a little more often and realize the world doesn't revolve around you. Well, if she's good looking, and she's 25, obviously in her prime, obviously she's used to getting her way. And this guy was a nice guy and, put her on the pedestal and put her wants and needs ahead of his. I've talked about that. See what happens here. Also, you order seafood at a bar. Read that again. How do you expect that to go? I also want to note, I've been married for 12 plus years and have never asked to swap meals with my partner. Taste a meal, fine, but swap, no. Amen, sister. Another guy says, you are the a-hole. You should apologize for putting that kind of pressure on him and doing it so often. Especially knowing food choices stress him out and he prefers to go with something comfortable and you keep taking that safe choice away. I don't see how choosing food is stressful, but okay, whatever. Probably being with her is stressful and that's probably causing the stress with the freaking menu. Maybe that's the case. He may have reacted a bit harshly, but it's obvious that this has been building up for him. You should apologize. Let him know that even though you felt like you were just asking and didn't mean to insist, you can see how it put pressure on him and you didn't mean to do that. And maybe experimenting with what you order occasionally, but not all the time. It's okay for eating out to be about comfort and convenience rather than experiencing new things. So there you go. Flip a coin if she actually realizes maybe she's the problem. Maybe she's a giant pain in the ass here and was taking advantage of his kindness amongst many other things. And that one person, I forget who it was, has a point. If this is how she is with food, what's she like with the other things? The odds are she could be a giant pain in the ass with other things as well, and just probably after 3 months of this shit, the guy's like, not even worth it. She could be a 10 in the looks and body type department, and this guy, he's done. He's over. So anyway, guys, that'd be a pretty funny one to go over because I don't think there's a guy watching this that hasn't experienced this once with a girl being a pain in the ass when it comes to food, ordering on the menu, that type of thing. So guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me think about this. Let's hear your stories. Let's hear your stories about pain in the butt girlfriends, dates, whatever, being difficult to order. I want to hear, guys. Let's hear this in the comments. Let's hear ballpark idea, the longest time it ever took a girl that you've been on a date with to figure out what she wants to eat. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. You finally got one left. Let's hear your stories. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.